For some, summertime is scam time. Today in what we like to call the sandwich generation, we have tips on how to protect the most vulnerable, our seniors. And here to tell us more is our friend, financial professional Matt Gulbransen. He's the owner of Callahan Financial Planning. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Let's get right to it. Why summer and why seniors?
Well, I think seniors as a whole are a little bit more of a vulnerable group because they tend to be a little bit more trusting. Also, research and studies show that as we age, the dynamics of our brains change, and so that changes our social interaction, our social cues, and how we judge risk. And so just for those two things alone, that then leads to over a $3 billion a year fraud specifically to seniors. And that's just what's reported.
$3 billion.
Yeah.
Think of this information that's not reported.
Exactly. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are embarrassed by it as well, too.
What should families do if they're watching and listening at home and they think someone is taking advantage of or has taken advantage of someone they love?
Yeah, I think what you need to do is not be embarrassed. You need to be proactive. You need to report it to the authorities. You need to report it to the Attorney General, because the last thing that anyone wants is this to be repeated for someone else. It's a horrible experience to go through, so we definitely don't want it to be repeated.
And we were talking earlier a little off camera about there's 4 things that rise to the top as summer scams.
Yeah.
What would those be?
Yeah, so let's run through those. So the first one would be specific to travel. So in the summer, we go on vacations, we book trips, we're purchasing or making reservations online. And so this would be just specifically to online. And so what you want to do is be careful when you see sites that are offering deals or incentives for you to book through them, a lot of third parties. Make sure it's reputable. Make sure that the site is legit, so you're not giving away information.
I get those pop-ups on my Facebook all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So then the second thing that I think you want to be cautious of is jobs. So it's not just college students. Seniors are getting seasonal summer jobs, and so when you're applying for a job, you have to give out a lot of personal information: name, social security, driver's license number, date of birth, and that easily can create identity theft.
Would you recommend just putting the last 4 digits of your social security number?
Yeah.
Or not at all?
Yeah, well, I mean, not at all. Obviously, I always avoid it unless necessary. But yeah, the last 4 would definitely help in that instance.
Okay, and real quickly, the final 2?
Yep, so the third one, home improvement. If you're going to hire a contractor, make sure that they have a contractor's license, make sure that they have references, and don't pay for anything until the work is completed. And then the last one would be concerts. There's a lot of very popular concerts going on in the summer, and these sell out in minutes. A lot of third parties are selling them, just like booking travel. We need to be very cautious of the third-party site that we're giving our credit card information to.
So we know the scams. You kind of touched on the ways to avoid them. Anything else you want to share before we take off?
You know, what I think it all boils down to is just being cautious, double-checking, making sure that the source is reputable, and if something doesn't seem quite right, that's probably a good red flag.
All right, thanks. As always, great chatting with you. Now, if you want to take a look at Matt's tips, you can just head over to KARE11.com after the show.